the Tom thing go? If they do, however, for some reason get too loud where it's like overwhelming, I'll pull aside and I'll just hop in chat. I just don't want it to be something that's like just like overwhelming. It's like yeah, yeah, no worries.
What's going on, chat? Welcome back to the BBTFRG channel. For those of you who didn't go anywhere and have been waiting around for me, we are back. I've got Jess with me this time. Do you want to say hello, Jess?
What's up? What's up, Kron?
We've got a few people in the
chat. How you guys doing?
A few people in the chat there. Kron, Mike Wells, the Jedi, and Mr. Poing. I'd imagine most people are over watching Scully finish off his All Hits live stream, and why wouldn't you? In honor of our friend Tom, sadly missed. But
I was like, how did Kron know that I was like I guess you must have put it in the stream. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I said to them at the end of the All Hits live stream that I was hoping to be able to drag you on. So yeah, they were there. Boss saying hot mic. Who's got a hot mic? Are you too loud, Jess? Just Oh, we heard you at the start. Really? That's interesting. You shouldn't have been able because there isn't a. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that and see where you're coming through then.
Oh, could they hear me? I'm guessing
you could hear Jess at the start, but not me.
Oh, probably when I was talking about the mic.
Yeah, maybe. We heard Jess before you turned on the face cam. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about my mic because I have family and friends that are in the living room watching the football game. And I'm stuck in a little hobbit hole in the back of my place so that it did not interrupt anything or anything like that.
But the sources that I've got, the source that we were on at the time, shouldn't have had Discord chat on it. I'll have to take a little look at that after the stream. But
what's up, Roy?
We've got, as I say, you got Roy for the win in there as well as Boss. No, but I mean it's no biggie. We can. I'll just.
At least I wasn't like saying anything offensive. Or
I mean it's lucky that you said those things about Mike Wells before we actually kind of fired the stream up. So, and only me's not in there, so I can't. But no, I'd say it's no harm, no foul. So what do we think of this season? What's everyone's kind of initial thoughts? Obviously Fezman, I'm here freaking annoyed at how the Niners are playing. Oh, really? Is it not good? Is it? I mean, like I
Yeah,
said, I'm a passing fan, not a.
they're getting destroyed by a third-rate Lions team over here.
Oh dear.
But yeah,
That's
it happens.
postseason is
But
not the
no,
ideal time to have an off day, is it?
yeah, no, not at all. But yeah, I have actually not really had the time since the sneak peeks dropped. I've kind of been all over the place and stuff like that. So I just kind of casually looked at it, and I mean, the first thing you think of is probably diamonds, and then the second thing you probably think of is like,
More
whoa, I've got to get
diamonds.
every. Well, yeah, more diamonds, and then whoa, I've got to get every hero almost,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you kind of sit back and look at it and realize that it's like you're dealing with the same like 4 or 5 troops that you always deal with at the beginning. So we're HZ in it, we're grins in it, we're tanks in it, and you just kind of look at it. I mean, I think I have some opinions that you would probably agree with, but those are probably more of like a thing we discuss like once we really kind of dive into the tree and stuff
yeah.
like that. But yeah, just initial thoughts is like, whoa, diamonds, and yeah, whoa, a lot of heroes.
We got Paul Barr in the chat there. Hey ho, yes, Kling Klong Clundy to anybody who is familiar with the top of the global leaderboard. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Yeah, I mean, when I first cracked open the dev build, obviously I was greeted with the same message that that we've all seen in the sneak peeks now, and that you guys will see tomorrow. By now, I'm Policia. Yes, sorry, you are Policia. That's right, my mistake. I'll always know you as Kling Klong, though, Paul. You'll always be Kling Klong to me. Policia now is Paul, but yeah, you'll find him there. Normally in the top 10, certainly kicking around the top 40 or 50. So yeah, a guy to kind of listen to. And were you on top 8 right now? Perfect. Were you on
Stones
Stone's
Talk,
Heart
I think is what
stream
he's talking about.
earlier? I think I heard you. I had it on in the background while I was making dinner for the
What's up,
family.
yo, master?
So yeah, master. Yeah, so you'll say when I cracked open, I was talking to Stone. When I cracked open the dev build and I kind of saw the troop boosts, my initial thought, obviously, like you said, was diamonds. And then my next thought was, oh damn, I'm gonna have to get this into the calculator. So a large portion of my week was spent trying to work out how to get them to work within the confines of the calculator and have it in such a way that it wouldn't be too sort of cause any other issues. But we overcame that. And yeah, that between that and my computer just not the graphics processor in it just isn't up to the job, and I had a hell of a job rendering the video for the sneak peeks. It took literally, I started it at 6 p.m. on Friday night, and by 6 a.m. Saturday I'd finally worked through all the glitches, got it rendered, got it done, set it up to render it ready to post on YouTube, and the whole thing crashed and I lost the lot. So I was that close to throwing the bloody Mac out the window because I had to be at work for 7. So, but yeah, I've recovered since then, and all is well in the world again. So yeah, like you said, troop boosts, lots of troop boosts. I think this is the only time you'll see 10 statue boost nodes on the tree. I've got a feeling going forward it'll be like the troop boost nodes have become. So maybe next season, for example, we might have 100 TD, 100 BH, 100 GBE, 100 of each, and then a couple of nodes where you can tweak your statue boosts. I don't think we'll ever see this many statue boosts in one hit on the tree. Just looking at it now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 of the 65 nodes. So just little under a third are choice nodes, and choice nodes mean diamonds. There's not normally that many choice nodes. You'd normally have about 5 nine proto stroke multi nodes in total, and then a few troop boost nodes. So maybe 11 or 12 is the most we've had in the past. But obviously this season,
I genuinely think that they will realize that it's way too many after the season, like you said, but also because of the token imbalance, because we're going to end up with a significant amount of tokens, and instead of being token starved at the very beginning of the season up until kind of that last week, we won't have that anymore. There's going to be a token imbalance where you're just going to be flushed with the tokens that you're not spending
yeah.
on the boost, and which will allow for people to, people will go for RLs and other things like that they probably typically wouldn't go for immediately because they'll be able to max those things
I,
immediately and make them more effective.
Adam Brown, good to hear you, Jess, in the chat. I think I
Yeah,
want to make it abundantly clear to anybody from Supercell that is watching or will watch this video in the future that we are not for one moment complaining about these statue boost nodes. It's something that the community in general has been that's you, Martin. What's up, Adam? Yeah, I took it as a universal. It's something that we've been asking for a long time. It's something that we're really grateful that they've put in. I think I speak on behalf of most of the community. It's something that we're really grateful that they've put in, that they've listened to us and considered it and found a way of working it in. I think the comments are merely the fact that there are so many, but I think the fact that there are so many are just representative of the fact that it's the first time we've seen them. So I think,
yeah.
I think moving
Not
forward,
a
not
criticism.
at
I mean,
all.
it wasn't a criticism at all. I was just stating like a glaring
Yeah,
observation that because there are so many this go around, because the first time with the troop boost, we had a bunch, and then after that, since its initial season, they've trimmed it down to typically two boosts a season. So, I mean, I imagine the same will be done for this boost. Like you'll have, your set in stone ones, and then you'll have a couple ones that you can kind of alternate and stuff like that. Because I mean, just this season alone, the tokens will be, and not only that, it'll be hard to be able to get out of the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ER, moving from ER to ER, getting that tech level up and as high as you need to without us, upgrading boosts and stuff like that. So it'll be a different
yeah.
experience, but not a bad one. Not a bad
So,
one.
Keg, I'll kind of take the two separate people's here's comments separately. So, Keg saying, I don't like the boost nodes. Having a few configurable would be better than all of them. And I think that that is the way that it will pan out. I think that this season is purely the devs, the team going, look, we've done this, and here they are. And we kind of go, great. Actually, there are some disadvantages to this in the fact that I think going forward, g'day, David. Welcome to the live stream, mate. I think moving forward, we will see, like Jess has said. So, what you might see, for example, is troop damage 100, troop health 100, building health 150, building damage 150, and then you'll see a couple of nodes on the tree that feature. Maybe you'll see 3 nodes, 4 nodes on the tree, 2 of which will feature troop damage and troop health combinations, but less building health and building damage. So it will be balanced, but I think that there will be a lot less nodes going forward. I
I
think that
also
that's
think I heard someone say something that I thought was really, really well thought out. Non-sec, who I have a very high opinion of, similar to Keg. I have a very high opinion of Keg when it comes to, knowledge with Boom Beach. But what he said was he was going to play this season, and whatever he chooses initially,
yeah.
as he's moving through 3 ER to 4 ER to 5 ER, whatever he chooses initially, he's going to leave it at that and then not change anything until he gets to that 70R final push point.
Mm-hmm.
Because all you're going to do, is it worth all those diamonds to get it
Absolutely.
to where you're going to be given like 2,000 diamonds for a node change? Is that worth one rank?
So yeah, we picked up on this in our chat with Nunu. We've sort of mentioned it. We've talked about different things like reducing the cost to 50 diamonds per change and capping it at 1,000, or potentially capping it at 500 diamonds per change rather than 1,000. We've also spoken about the possibility of having an Admiral's Pass or something along those lines, where you pay $4, $5, £5. I'm not quite sure what that equates to in euros. So about half as much as you pay for IT, which gives you a pass that gives you unlimited changes of the boosts for the season. It makes it a little bit more like a pay to win game, I guess. But then effectively, if you spent £1,000 on diamonds and bought an absurd amount of diamonds, you're just paying to win there. So it's no different. It's just making it more affordable. Now, some time ago, there was a survey that went round asking us what we felt about a boom pass. Maybe that's something that you could see within lines of a boom pass. But what I do know is that over the last few seasons, we've seen the introduction of more and more added features to warships, things that we've been asking for, things that we haven't been asked or mentioned. The collect all button on the tech tree, that's something that's rocked up. The changing decks, it's not necessarily something that we said about decks that you could choose, but certainly changing decks is something that's added a little bit of spice to it. The troop boost nodes, again, adding spice to it, putting more. You notice the last few seasons, you've seen at least one proto troop on the tree every season, something else that's been added. So every season, we're getting something new and something different from the devs with regards to the tree, and I think that can only be a good thing. It shows that that it's being thought about, it's being planned out. So moving forward,
I wouldn't mind paying $15 if like you put in like a select all, like you get unlimited changes to the nodes, your IT, and like a save base feature for warships. If you put those three things together, I would have it wouldn't bother me at all to pay $15 a month for
if
that.
you think IT is $10, IT is $10, Admiral Keys a couple of dollars, extra builders are a couple of dollars. If you said a couple of dollars for an Admiral Pass, if you said $20 or £20 for a Boom Pass, and you got all of those paid features thrown in, would you take it? That's the question. I think I would. I might change the way that I played and play my junior accounts more, because obviously if you've got the extra builders thrown in there, you're not going to use them on a maxed account. But we'll see. We'll have to see what comes out. The other thing I wanted to pick up on just very quickly was Paul Bauer saying that he didn't like the changes that they'd made between the chest reward values between diamond and ledge, saying 2 keys from gold to diamond is a joke because obviously the tech tree choice is changing, that rank pays, your rank plays less importance. I understand people's concerns with regard to that. From my personal point of view, I believe that was the reason that I had a better season last season, because I'm not always able to play when the game dictates I should push. I didn't make diamond as necessarily when everybody else did, which meant when I made it 3 days late, I'd only missed out on 18 keys as opposed to 45 keys.
What's up, Vic?
But these are things that Nuno has said to us in Slack, that they monitor all of these changes and see how they affect the game, and nothing is set in stone. So we will see. It may well be that they're tweaked and adjusted again before before too long. But
in my opinion, I'm kind of with Paul. Like, I get it. I understand why they did it. I think it balances things for the players that are below the top 50.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think it also softens the blow for people that make bad decisions
yeah.
initially,
I've
and
just
I think it allows them to kind of correct that, which is not as, you know, cool
I've
to me, but you know.
I've just scrolled down in my chat here, and I've just seen the message from Paul. 2 for iron to gold is good. Maybe 3 from gold to diamond, and 4 to legendary. That's kind of roughly where I sit. I think for me would sit well. But to just go back up, Mark Breezy in the chat, boost nodes. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Mark. Boost nodes, lots of diamonds for Supercell. Yeah, it will be for this season if we make lots of changes. But like I say, I think this season is about showcasing them, showcasing the fact that they've done it. Moving forwards, I don't think you'll see that. The reason that the cost is there is also to kind of, as you were suggested earlier, like Nonsec said, make your decision and live by it. And then when you get to the end of the tree and you've got all of your toys, then you make your tweaks and changes where you see fit. If you were able to change it every step of the way, then it might become too overpowered. For example, you've got your statue storage on your main island, and if you were allowed to swap your statues, you'd hold 5 statues in there, wouldn't you? You'd hold 3 building health statues, 2 building damage statues, and the moment you stop playing or stop map clearing, you put your 5 of your statues into the storage and take your 5 ice statues out. Once you got your max statues, you just do that on rotation, and the game would suffer because of it. You have to make a decision on your playing style in the main base. Are you going to be offensive, or are you going to be defensive, or are you going to be a farmer? I mean, there are those still with green statues who farm resources for everybody else to raid, but on the whole, you're
What's up,
either
man?
you're either red or you're blue. And if you had the ability to just swap them back between one and the other, it would detract from the game. And I think it's the same with these boosts. If switching statues was easy or cheap, then it would kind of spoil the way the season's supposed to flow. But I do think that moving forward, you'll see a lot less of them. That will go back to the sort of roughly 11 or 12 choice nodes as opposed to the 19 that we've got this season. Ben saying you're up late, mine. Yeah, I know it's been a long week this week with one thing and another. What is a boom pass? All the thoughts behind it. Purely that people were asking, or Supercell sent a survey attached to the game round. Oh, when was that? Probably close to a year ago. Just gaining the general consensus of opinion as to whether people would pay for a boom pass, whether they would consider a boom pass. There's no idea. We got no kind of idea of what it might look like, if it's coming, if it's even in the pipe work. Would it include things like skins, or what it would include? There's no talk of that. It was literally just, would people be up for it? So, we'll have to see. Probably IT with some added perks and rewards to it, like other games have season passes. Yeah, they would, but what else would you add to it? I mean, it's not like we have skins or that many decorations for our bases. There are only a limited number of things that you could add to that. Admiral's Kids 299. There should be some pain with changing nodes. Unlimited changes is too much. Absolutely, boss. So, that's really kind of what Supercell's position is. It's just finding that right level of pain, if you like. Or then we've covered the tech tree choices. Wow, Petrick just soloed hardcore on Tom's stream. Wow, we'd have to go back and watch that. We got click in the chat.
I think you're like a couple minutes behind.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to scroll through chat and catch up. We've got did I see okay. Only me, diamonds is currency. The pass would have to be cheaper than IT. Not if it included more things. Only me. If you got more with IT, if you got more stuff than you do with IT, then you could get away with it, especially if it was stuff to the useful stuff to the max player. So, for example, if the boom pass included unlimited changes to nodes in warships, then that would have to be dearer. I see what you're saying about the Admiral's Key and the extra builders, because they wouldn't be that much use to max players. But like I said, this is just really just speculation on my part. There's absolutely no there's no no reason to believe that there is a boom pass coming anytime soon. Anyway, let me switch over now to here, and we can take a better look at the tech tree. There is tech tree. What do I want? Edit, tools, and I can unpin that. Move that over. Where do I want to put that? Probably down here somewhere. So yeah, there is the tech tree. Gets rid of my ugly mug off the screen as well, which I'm suppose you'll all be quite grateful for. Get more involved in
I never show my mug. Well, no, it's not that I don't for any particular reason, but I just don't have the bandwidth when I'm streaming to be able to show my face and me playing at the same time.
I've got the bandwidth. I just don't have the computer with the graphics processing that's powerful enough to do it. Anyway, that said, probably best not to do this in blue. Let's do it in green. Paths for this season. What's the consensus? What's the thought?
I think 99, or not 99, I think 90% of people, there's going to be 3 paths, okay? There's going to be your straight to 4ER path, which a majority of probably the top 300 take. And then there's going to be your warrior path that some people take, probably Skull on one of his accounts for fun, and then there's going to be the all D account. But the good thing about people trying to go all D is that even with max D at 3ER, it's not much. You're talking boom cannons, flames, machine guns, mortars, and sniper towers, for the most part. It's not RLs, it's not shock launchers, it's not critter launchers. It's very manageable.
You've got those cannons a bit further up the bus. Yes, you've got 2 protos there, but it's...
one will be a Sky Shield, one will be a DC, more than likely, and then in the end, probably 2 Sky Shields,
So it seems to me the general consensus of opinion is that this here is the opening path for most people, with the possibility of going this way around the rectangle. I think that going the bottom path through there is better. You've got TD, DVD, and GBE here, TH, DVD, and GBE there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, BH is the number 1, TD is the number 2. I think that this proto node 2 with the Sky Shield laser beam and the Simo is an easier choice than Sky Shield laser beam or Doom cannon. So I'd pick the Sky Shield first, and then potentially come back to that other set of nodes at a later time and date. How about pay to reverse a tech tree decision in the past? I know in the past I've mistakenly taken medics over rifles. It's been banded around before, I think. Potentially you could, if that were the case, I think you could only take 1 mulligan. Otherwise you would have people kind of opening and unlocking, and I mean, if you spend...
You could open something for a push for like 2 hours to get like way up, and then undo it and get where you want to do. Like say like RLs was on the top path, or like TD or BH, some crucial node, but it was behind something. So you unlock that to get it and then push, and then after you push, you undo it and then get, something else. It could be really abused. It could be really taken advantage of, I believe, if they did do it.
Yeah, exactly. If you open Smoke and Warriors and Art and maxed out your Art and then did a paid to undo Flare, that would automatically mean that you undo these two. Yeah, that would be the only way, is if you don't. I think having one undo. So if you, like, for example, it was a couple of seasons ago, I wasn't watching, literally wasn't watching what I was doing. And I think cryos and lasers were quite close to one another. And for some reason, I just went and unlocked the cryos rather than the lasers because I really wasn't focusing on what I was doing. That would have been useful for an undo. But I think an undo is I don't think it's something that we're likely to see, whether it's a one-off or a pay for, or I think you just have to be more careful about what you take. I mean, at the end of the day, that is the idea behind warships, that you plan your path, you stick to your path, come with a plan, and leave in defeat, as the game says. So, yeah. So really, the question then becomes, from 4ER, where do you go? I think, given that when you get to 4ER, if you haven't dropped off for any other defenses, literally all you have is mortars, snipers, boom cannons, and a sky shield. I think you kind of have to come back for machine guns, don't you?
Yeah, I think machine guns, green mine, or I don't know. It's hard. I know you'll want to come back for machine guns, flames, though, those two main defenses.
Yeah.
But I also think you'll want that BH very quickly and shock mines very quickly as well.
Well, then I mean, that obviously at this point leads you to where you go after 4. I mean, I think that's probably all you're going to come back for. Green moans are attractive, but there are another 18 keys, and that's 18 keys that you could do with saving.
If most people go HZ, though, I think green mines can be, really effective.
Well placed green mines, but then directly after 5, you got barrage, and green mines are now obsolete. If your heavies don't take them out, if you're using brick, you've got iron will. If you end up coming back for Sparky, you've got critters. So I don't think green mines are going to play a huge difference for very long. There will be a small window. So Click saying, Martin, if you're going this path, what are your troops? You'd literally be going Zookas, all Zooka, and hoping that you don't come up against heavily defended bases. On my BallisticBull account, I can get to 4ER without opening any of my 4/4. So potentially I could get that with my 4/4, which would then give me heavy Zuka as a troop to run. If you're not starting that far in advance, that one, then perhaps Grens are going to be the better play, and then to look to pick up the mines, and then potentially the second proto there. I mean, at this stage, you've only got rifles off the. I believe that artillery is a mistake if you're looking to rush. Could you do Zookas with brick? I think Zookas with iron will and only mortars and sniper towers on the deck would be doable. I think if you started coming up against bases with machine guns and rifles on the deck, then you're going to need more of a meat shield, and that's why I'll be going heavies on my BallisticBull account. Warships is about bad decisions and good decisions. No, you're absolutely right, and trying to make more good decisions than you do bad decisions. How about you don't use? How about if you don't use? Oh, we've gone back to that. Yeah, okay. I thought somebody said about Grens. That, of course, is the other option. Is if you load up in 3ER, so get both of these nodes here, and then pick up Grens at the beginning and just Gren your way through 3ER. But I think you're going to need a dirty base to do that.
I just don't know that the base D provides you that. I could be wrong though. I mean, it's just with the 2 ramps, it makes it really easy to kind of just drop the grins and let them clear. Same with tanks.
Yeah, I think that Grens, obviously it's one of those, Grens are going to clear a base. Heavy Zuka is going to be quicker. It depends on which one you can manage. I certainly don't think you need flare at this stage. Warriors, unless you're Scully with them, I don't think will work. And I think that artillery is a trap. So I am going to ignore this dead end for most of the season, I think. There's a little bit overkill there on the green lines, crossing that out.
I think I'm going to wait 3 or 4 hours after the season starts, and I'm going to let everybody else make all the horrible decisions, and I'm going to wake up and play and make hopefully great decisions. But seriously, I think the dynamic has changed a lot in the past 3 or 4 seasons, from people thinking they needed to immediately be up at the very beginning, the start of the season, to now where people feel comfortable enough to wait a couple hours into the season before getting going.
I think that's certainly true with the chess reward values that have changed. I think that that's made a massive difference. And there was a couple of seasons ago where actually holding on paid more dividends because of the nature of the trend. I think people at that point realized that maybe getting out on the seas very early doors wasn't that important. Tron Howard, this is where I was going to go, and it's that little run after 5 with Barrage Bullet and RLs would be so costly in any other season. We can probably max all 3 back to back this season. Exactly, Tron. Exactly, Cron. So I was going to focus on 4. So my after 3, after 3, obviously you've got 4. I think there's 2 kind of paths. Well, there's probably 3 paths here. If you're rushing forward, like my bull account is, then I think this is the path that you have to take to 5, and possibly even barrage as well before you think of coming back. If you're not, if you're playing more of a long-term defensive strategy, I still think you're gonna need heavies if you want a fast hit. However, tanks will, like Jess said, tanks will clear. So if you go tanks, you're going to be clearing bases. 24 tanks with potentially a troop health boost, because you've probably picked up this node as well. 24 tanks, troop health boost, and all it's going to be facing is 4 boom cannons and a DC. Well, it's going to make fairly light work of that, all of that, I would say. And then from here,
I think Tank Zuka could be a thing.
Tank Zuka potentially is a thing, yeah.
With Brick, I think anything you use will clear. It's just about time.
Yeah.
I think HZ will clear. I think all tanks will clear. I think Tank Zuka will clear. I think Grins will clear. I think Tank Grins will clear. I think everything will clear, especially because you have Brick and the D isn't just crazy early this season. I think everything will clear. It's just about finding the right combination to go fast enough and stop people just long enough. Just that balance you try to create.
So, as Cron's just pointed out, if you're going tanks, you're picking up DBD here. Potentially, you might even pick up DBD on this one because you're going to want to slow your opponent down. Like Ron said, you're going to want to slow the opponent down as much as possible. Essex boy, where did I finish? I got a 24.5 finish on bull. It's about 24.8, I think, in the end. But it's enough to start me at 14. And 14 is enough to go directly, this middle path here, directly to 4ER without your 4 of 4. And then obviously your 4 of 4 will give you, 72 keys. So I can come back for machine guns. So machine guns are 36. With the flamethrowers would be 56. 76, so 82 to get to the heavy. So I'd need a rank chest. You'll be 13, yeah. If you finish 23.01, you will be 13. Battle order heavy rush. Yeah, possibly for a small window, but you're gonna have
you have no flare.
You've got shock mines, you've got shock launchers, and you've got but yeah, I don't know why I'm bringing up shocks. Yeah, you won't have, as Jess said, you won't have flare. So you're going to be up against two methods of shocking you. And in order to do that, you're going to have to come down and get flare, which is going to put you an extra chest behind, getting the heavies. I think the guys that start 15 that can go straight to heavies, and I'm not sure if you can go heavies if you start 15. I don't think you can, because that's exactly enough keys to 4ER. So if you started 15, you'd only have the 15 rank chest.
Do you think people will get both heavies and tanks, or do you think they're either or? Like if you get one, you don't get the other, at least initially.
I think initially, yeah. I think if you go heavies, you're almost committed to this path and 5ER as soon as possible. If you go tanks, then you're going tanks for BH and shock mines, I would say.
It's just so hard to rush HCs or bombers because they're so far away.
Yeah, they are, but then that's what, that's kind of where bull is going. With the reduced shock reward value, chest reward values now, it kind of makes that playable, because if you are in gold and it takes you 5 days to get there, well, you're only losing 6 chests a day. You're only losing 6 keys a day, 3 chests at 2 chests a key. So over 5 days, you've lost out on 30 keys, which is 15 keys less than you lose on 3 days under the old regime. That's how huge it is. So you can afford to trudge your way to 6ER via the shortest possible path, knowing full well that when you pick up heavy choppers, when you pick up bombers and Kevin, you're just going to fly up the leaderboard at that point, because you'll be one of the first with them. Yeah, but the shocking stuff is a lot of keys. Yeah, well, the shock launchers are, but the shock mines aren't. The shock mines are there. If you've got tanks, the shock mines are there on path. And I think a large proportion of people will come that route to 5. After 5, I only see there being one path, and that's that path. I think that these 3 nodes here, well, I don't think they're a huge vacuum. They're just a massive. At some point, you're going to want this statue boost node because it's got building health on. And if you've gone this path, the outside path, heavies, troop boost, and cannons, you may want to pick up that building health node after barrage to counter the people that have gone tanks and picked up the building health node there. Lasers, I don't see them being of too much use at this stage. You probably aren't going to have any troop health. You've got no shocks to shock anything that can kill the lasers. You've got no Kavan to bring the lasers back. So I think going lasers this early is a little bit suicidal, which forces you bottom path. RLs, as somebody's pointed out, if we can max RLs, and if you can max bullet, and if you can max your RCs as you open these across the bottom here, then bullet RCs might become a thing at 5ER. But either way, it's straight up and to 6ER. Boom mines are going to be a thing at some point. You know, you're going to want to grab them, but they're just one step back. And then you're at 6ER. And directly after 6ER is Kavan. Now, if that's the case, you're probably going to want to fling back and grab the rifles to go with Kavan. And then it's pick your poison up here. You know, do you get bombers or do you get seekers? Either which way, you're still going to kind of be heading off to get the heavy bus, and then whichever one of these two you see fit, and then you're going to be looking to finish off the tree, and you know, dirty up in 6ER would be my take on the thing. I think 4ER is going to be where it gets proper messy. I think whichever way you go to 4ER, when you get to 4ER, it's going to be real messy because you've got you know, all of the D at 4ER, including cannons. If you take the long path, you've got shock launchers as well, shock mines. I think the sooner you can kind of get out of 4 and into 5 and push on towards 6. Do you remember a couple of seasons ago when you and I got trapped? I think you had one account that managed to escape 4ER and got through 5 quickly, but my bull account and your other account just got trapped at 4ER. And then we kind of, when we went 5, we were trapped at 5 as well. And I don't think either of us got a rank chest for about 8 or 9 days.
Yeah, was that when we were doing the tank with no shocks on the back compact? Was that
I
the
think
season?
that sounds about right. Yeah. And it was so, I can remember you and I messaging each other, just like ranting about how crap the game was and how poor the game. And and eventually when we got, I think it was heavy choppers when we got oh no, it was bombers first, wasn't it? I think we got to bombers. It was just like a huge weight had been lifted off your shoulders because you could finally, you know, finally do something. So that's where I think that's my opinion on the tree. I think that I'm going to go for Dex next if I can.
Please, Supercell. I know you're making all these amazing improvements. Can you go backwards in time and just put one ramp at 7ER? Just for a season, just for a couple seasons, just one ramp. I just think the game is significantly better at the end when there's only one ramp. I think it allows for more metas to be viable. Just my opinion.
I was saying to, who was I talking to? It might have been JP. Could have been JP. Could have been Stone. I can't remember. I was talking to somebody. That of the recent seasons, 6ER seems to have been tougher than the 7ER deck. I don't know whether that's by, I mean, it must be by design. It must be by design. But you look at this season. I mean, in fact, let's go through the decks. So here is 2ER, which if I zoom in, zoom, there's 2ER. I don't really think that there's much to say about 2ER. We're not going to be on it for long. If at all. I think most people are going to be out of 2ER as quickly as possible. So 3ER. Zoom, 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 zoom. Yeah, so there's 3ER. I foresee that kind of being everything bunched up here in the middle. Maybe like 1ER, defense, another ER out here, and then a third ER, almost central with the few defenses that you've got scattered around it. And that's why I think that going 4 as quickly as possible. No, don't want it saved. That's why going 4.
It's such a huge advantage.
Because the
going 4 over 3, yeah.
The 4ER deck is so much bigger. You don't need. I don't know. I don't even know if you'll need the flare at 4ER. You certainly won't need the flare for 3ER, and I'm not sure you're going to really need it at 4ER. Maybe once 4ER starts dirtying up, possibly you'll need it. But if you're ahead of the game and you've gone to 5, I'm still not sure you're going to need it necessarily at that point. So yeah, that's 4. 5 is similar. If anything, 5 I think might be a little bit easier than 4. Let's just zoom that in, and then we can flick back between 4 and 5. So 5, 4. Bring that up as well, so they're similar sort of size. Are they going to jump back to that size every time? I think they are, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, we'll do it there then. So yeah, 4ER, 5ER, it's just really moving the position of the ramp. And I think with it at the back there, it makes it a little bit harder than when it's in the middle. What do you think?
I actually, well, that's why I like going straight to 4ER immediately, is because, like, once you're 4, it's such an advantage, even if you don't have that much D. And so it allows you to kind of sit there, take a pause, and be able to grab the things you need to grab, whether it's flames, machine guns, because you're already there, as opposed to, stocking up in 3 before going 4. I also think 4 is potentially 4 with more D is potentially better than 5 with less D, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the only advantage to 5 with less D is it gets you to 6 and that dead end paradise that much sooner. Reminds me of a little key, actually. If you look at it, if you look at this area here, it kind of reminds me of a little key or a comb, I suppose, but like the front of it, you draw that down there and put a loop on the back of it. You got yourself
outside both BHs, though. I mean, there's not really anything in 5. Yes, there's pieces to the bigger puzzle. Your barrage, your bullet, if you want to use them, RLs, boom mines. But it's nothing like game altering. It's not those. It's not bombers. It's not HCs. It's not anything like that, in my opinion. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll eventually get there. I just think that there's stuff you can get before just racing there.
Yeah, I think so.
But if you're headed for 6, like you are on your 1 account, then you're surpassing all of that anyways.
Yeah, I mean that's principally the thing with Bull. I'm going to be trying to get to here, bombers and HCs as quickly as possible, and then I'll worry about going back for stuff. If I can do all that in gold, brilliant. My other account, Meerkat, I will probably do what you're on about doing, get to 4 as quickly as possible, and then look to D up from there. So I think with Meerkat, I'm going to come tanks, probably building health, And then I'm seriously thinking about going back for Sparky and the two shocky items. And then I might look at coming back and maybe even picking up this proto, maybe this boost as well.
That proto is really cheap, so there's not really a reason not to get it. I
Yeah,
just think, especially if you make it a DC or a Sky Shield to pair with your other protos, there's just no reason not to get it.
I think Sparky and Tanks pair quite nicely. You know, her critters for distraction or universal hack, universal remote for boom cannons. They pair quite nicely and they move at a kind of similar speed with similar range. So she's never out the front and vulnerable to sniper fire or a one hit from a
Yeah,
cannon.
that's the one problem with Brick is that she's so far in front that she always gets planted in the face.
Yeah, if she's got heavies to hide behind, then she's okay. But yeah, if you're just running Brick and Tanks, then she's going to be up front, up front and personal with any defenses that happen to and it's not going to be long before a boom cannon picks her off. So, um, I think for my Meerkat account, will be my Meerkat account starts one rank behind Bull. I think what I'll be doing there is that same path up to 4ER. Once I get 4ER, then I'll go tank straight away because you're gonna need Zukas aren't gonna last you. Just Zukas aren't gonna last you that long. In fact, I'm expecting a little bit of pain while I collect my 4 of 4. Before I can get to tanks. Once you got tanks, then your options open up, and I think after that I'll go machine guns and flames, because they will give me, obviously more D on deck. Then I'll probably go to the Doom Cannon to fight anyone that's gone the same path, and then I think I'm not sure at this point whether I'll go and grab BH or whether I'll come back to Sparky and certainly shock launchers. I don't know about shocks. I don't know if shocks are really going to be needed at this point. So maybe shock launchers and then BH shock mines, and then I can look at pushing on to 5 with Meerkat. Those are the kind of two that I'm looking at. So yeah, we looked at 4ER, we looked at 5ER, so 6ER. This is where it gets spicy, isn't it?
I didn't hear you. It broke up.
Sorry, 6ER. This is where it's going to get spicy because obviously this area here, we've had this before. Sky Shield over an ER or a couple of defenses. It's just anything landed over here is just line of sight. That's its nearest, and it's just going to march up and round and straight past anything that happens to be along the back row here. Any defenses that happen to be down the side here or along the back row here. It's just going to be ultra messy. The only kind of, I suppose, I mean, if you had a row of defenses that led round maybe to an ER here, not a very boxy box for an ER. That's awful, but yeah, if you had an ER here and a line of defenses that led round to it, I mean, you could potentially bring them that way round as well. I think 6ER is just so much better than, you could tuck another ER up in here that would require probably 1, maybe 2 boats being landed over this side. You're probably going to want to keep 1 or 2 boats back. If you've got an HCRC which can fly the gap, then great. but that's another 2 boats. So you're now only landing like 4 boats to take care of the other 4 ERs. So I think 6 ER is far superior to 7 ER. There's 7.
Yeah, I'm still kind of new to the tree, still kind of studying it all. But it's interesting. I think they kind of balanced it as well as they could have, considering that they have so many kind of up in the air things with all the boosts and everything like that. I mean, I don't think they could have done much better than they did.
So what's people's? Oh, he's drawn a dog. Bombers can shoot. You reckon bombers can shoot that gap? You reckon bombers
I
can
can't
shoot?
tell.
I mean, that's. Oh. We're talking. If bombers are here, that's 2 tiles. That's 3 tiles. That, I think, is about 5 tiles. 8. That's 10. So that's 10 tiles potentially across that gap. If that's the case, so that would be 10 tiles. That would be 10.5 tiles. That would be 11 tiles. I would say, what have bombers got a range of? Anyone know?
12 tiles, 12 or 13
tiles.
tiles.
So the most you could get probably is 4 bombers here. 1 boat of bombers shooting that gap. If you've got a rocket launcher parked up there, they're not going to last long. Bearing in mind they'd have to get through a sky shield. If you put the sky shield on that corner, a rocket launcher in there, and then the ER under the sky shield there at the back, I'm not sure that they would be that use. I mean, they might be, but until we get to it, it's hard to be sure for sure. What you all do? What's everyone's thoughts on the statue nodes themselves? I mean, obviously this first one, I think, is fairly much accepted that we're going to do TD. Would you say?
I mean, anytime there's TD, you go for it, unless there's BH on it as well, and then you go BH.
So when it comes to these second 2, you kind of have to go through TD again over here, I think, because this one THDVD, it's a bit. Sky Shield is going to be the defensive meta. What, double Sky Shield or just the one? I think a
DC and a Sky Shield.
Yeah. I tend to think that this will be Sky Shield, and that this one will be Sky Shield, and that this one will be DC. Certainly in the early meta, when we get to 6, possibly 7 ER, then you might see them both change out to a DC. This one has got to be BH, I would say. A very dodgy looking H, but I think that has to be BH.
Yeah. I think at the end people are gonna go. It'll be 240 BH by then.
I think for the most part, I think most people will go to aim for 240 BH, which puts BH on this node as well, and BH on this node. So what we've kind of come up with already is 5 of the 10 nodes. Bearing in mind we haven't looked at these 4, but even these. Well, we'll come on to those. 5 of the 10 nodes you're going to choose and stick to. I think we're going to do 3 TD, 4 BH, 1 DBD, 1 TH, and 1 GBE at the end. Really? I don't think you'll be doing any GBE, to be honest. Is my...
Maybe one. Okay, maybe. So 240 BH, 80 TD, 40 TH, and 40 DBD, I think is the breakdown that you're seeing the most from people.
I think, yeah. I mean, I think the bottom line is, so what's Warships about? Going quick and making your opponent go slow. How do you do that? Well, you need to be the best hitter you can be. And who is the best hitter that they can be? Well, Stoneheart is. Paul Bauer is. Commander Doom is. There are a number of people who consistently sit in the top 10 of the global leaderboard consistently. Those guys maybe don't need to worry about BH so much, but I think the rest of us, we kind of do, which means if we're saying 240 BH, that has to be BH. If we're saying we have to slow our opponents down, that then is BH. Because max BH is on 6 nodes. So that then is BH as well. I think people are sleeping on the GBE and the TH. We're not Stoneheart or Paul. We need them to compete. But do you then
yeah, well, I was about to say the same thing. Do you, with HC Bomber, do you really need the TH? Probably not. Especially because people won't have DBD or a bunch of DBD.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is it and somebody said to me that they were going to go 240 DBD, and actually that might be a thing, because if most people are going to scrimp on TH and you've got more DBD than you've got BH, you're going to be knocking those heavy choppers out of the air pretty quick. You're going to be killing the heavies off pretty sharpish as well. So maybe that's why I think you'll need 1 DBD as well to kill the bombers without TH. Yeah, maybe all DBD might be the smart play. But yeah, I mean, if you go all of one particular, whether you decide that you want 240 TD or whether you decide you want 240 DBD, it only leaves you 4 other nodes to play with. So maybe actually maxing out at 200 of the one, so like maxing out 200 BH might actually be the smarter play, or 200 DBD might be the smarter play. Hard to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll have to buy every DBD to have 240. Yeah, I mean, you have to buy, so there's 10 nodes, and each boost features 6 times throughout the tree. So whichever, if you want 240 of everything, then you have to get them all. If you wanted 240 GBE, you'd have to get all the nodes with GBE on, which would leave you 4 nodes. Nodes 7, 8, 9, and 10 don't have GBE on. And it would mean that all you were collecting until 6ER was GBE nodes. Well, that's great if you've gone artillery and barrage and you're barting out ERs left, right, and centre. But if your opponent's got 2 sky shields and has gone 200 BH at this point, because I think they could have 40, 80, they could have 120 BH at this point. Would you be barting them out at all? Probably not. That's why I think you need 1 DBD as well to go. Sorry, I read that. It's a fine balance, actually, when you dial into it. There's kind of more to it than just lumping onto one particular attribute. Is 40 is the difference between 200 BH and 240 BH significant enough to give up a troop health statue? Because the difference between no TH and 40% TH might actually be bigger than the difference between 200 BH and 240 BH. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I am yet to make up my mind. Maybe the middle path for one account and art for the other have to do something different. I think art's a trap. Personally, I think artillery is. I think it'll play a part at the end, but I think in early and mid meta, it's a trap. I think once critter launchers come on line, we will want a GBE. GBE bombers will start fizzling and the critter launchers are left unchecked. Yeah, that's true. But by the time the critter launchers come online, there should be enough defenses on deck to earn that GBE. You know, it depends on how much of a GBE whore you are, I suppose. I mean, as McLovin will frequently tell you and point out, I kind of don't. I tend to save GBE. I kind of hoard it. I don't. So it depends on how much of a GBE hoarder you are.
I'm different. I use it as I get it. You know, like very. Just varying play styles.
No, absolutely. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. That is for sure. We are at. I'm just looking what the time is and wondering whether is Mr. Crusher still going with his craziness, because it's 10 past 2 in the morning now, and I probably should.
Well, I mean, I was about to say I don't know that there's that much to discuss. I think this is one of those seasons where kind of everything's kind of up in the air. Everything could be a possible meta. Everything could be something. I think there'll be more to talk about in the afternoon of day one than there is technically right now. I just think that, once we have a defined path that most are taking, I think there'll be more to discuss than there probably is currently.
Yeah, I think there's so much new stuff this season that, like you said, it's probably difficult to figure out at this point. So possibly this is where we leave it.
Yeah.
Switch back over there. This is where we possibly leave it until, yeah, you do. I knew you'd watching in the background. I knew you were watching in the background, McLovin. I also knew that comment would trigger a response. But yeah, that's just my play style, I suppose. Everyone's varies, everyone's different. So, and that's mine. So yeah, I think we're probably just about done. Unless you got anything you want to add, chat. Anything else you want to add? Walker. No, everyone said what they want to say, heard what they want to hear. Well, it is, I suppose, 7 hours, E- 7 hours, or 6 hours and 47 minutes till the start of the season. So we'll find out where we go at that point in time. I was listening to your voice and nodding off. Yeah, I have that effect on people. Keg, I don't want to say nothing. You're saving it all for a private chat in a short while, are you? Should be interesting. Enjoy the new features and keep trying it out. I think what it comes down to is what is your game, and follow that path. Yeah, which it pretty much is every season, isn't it? Pick a path and try and stick to it. Try not to deviate too much. Yeah. Final words to you, Jess.
Yeah, no, I think everybody. I mean, as I have the past couple of seasons, I think more. I don't stress out about things anymore. I don't. Things don't have to be perfect and stuff like that. I'm just kind of focused now on just enjoying myself and having fun. And yeah, I think it'll be another enjoyable season. And hopefully, you guys have as much fun as we do. And yeah, we'll try to get back together in the next day or so and see how things shook out and see how we go forward.
On that note, I've just got one more thing to add. Well, I haven't. Tom has. I know you can't add it from here. I'm on the wrong. I'm on the. I
If
need
you
to be
aren't
over
having
here.
fun, you're not having fun. Which means you're probably going to do a shitty hit. Because the wife's screaming in your ear or the dog's barking in your ear or whatever, you're not having fun. So just have fun. That's really all that matters.
And that was Tom SC555 with some very wise words. Just have fun. Todd, afraid not. No, you'll have to rewind and start and watch it from the beginning. It's 2 a.m. here. I've done enough for the day. I am out. So thank you guys all for watching. Much love to you all. Thank you for joining in Tom's stream earlier for him. Really appreciate that. But for now, I am done. So please remember, people, don't do anything I wouldn't do. If you do, don't get caught. But if you get caught, you don't know me. All right, guys. Good night.
Later.